Alright, so in this video, we'll be going through the video transmitter and OSD. They kind of work in conjunction to each other because when you see what you actually able to see through your camera, through your OSD or through your goggles, you will see your OSD on your screen once you have your OSD set up. So we're going to do this too in this video. So in this video, we have the video transmitter, and I see that there's so many new things available right here. Considering there's a big orange or pink box at the top. But here, you can enter your frequency manually or directly. We don't have a VTX table here, so we're going to load one. How do I load my VTX table? Well, first off, anything that's going to use your drone needs to be disabled. So I'm going to type in vtx.au.in, and generally this is how I'm going to load a VTX table via this configurator right here. So vtx.au.in, you could do a configurator, VTX configurator, but on the main menu, I'll show you what there is. There's different things here. There's so many different things, like tools and so many different things you can actually do. Yeah, I've never used all that there, but there's so many different things you can do. But on the VTX configurator, you can simply do something right here, and I'll do a video about it in the extras. So here we have the different models of VTX. Mine is a Fox here. You need to know your VTX. It's a 3-watt ET channel, so this is it right here. It uses the IRC Trump protocol, not smart audio, but Trump. And the VTX is connected to UART3. So my Trump wire from my VTX is connected to UART3 on my serial port. And then I'm going to ignore the default band, ignore the default channel. But if I want, I can put raise band, which is R. And I'll put raise band 8 as my default channel. I'll ignore this up here, but I'll get to it in another video. And I'll ignore power states right here. But this is the table here. I can simply just copy everything here, all the way down here. So I can copy the results and post it in my Betaflight CLI. Or I can close Betaflight or disconnect. So now I'm disconnected. And I can send to flight controller, select it, then press continue, and that's generally it. Sent to my flight controller, easy as that. I can also copy just the VTX table, which is just this here, and I can paste it in my CLI, so I can load it into my flight controller also. Now, since that has been sent, you can see now I have a VTX table, and this is standard, and it's also mainly for my specific VTX. Now, my specific VTX has 5 power states in total by default when the VTX is unlocked. 25 here, 25 watts. You see 200 here on the label. The label says 200, but the state shows 100. So basically the label is what's been actually the wattage that's been pushed out. So I'm actually shows 100 right there. That's 200 watts, but you can name it something different, like 200W if you want. Okay, you cannot. But 200 label means 200 watts, but the power state will be a value of 100. That's basically how it is programmed. But the label is the actual value. It's just telling you the actual value generally. So all the way up to 600 is actually 3000 watts. So it will not show 3000 in the value because it is programmed to be 3000 when it says 600 right here. So generally the label tells you the actual value, that even though it's not directly what it's supposed to be, which is 3000 watts, it just shows 600, but 600 in its understanding is 3000 watts. Now, wristband, the band is what your goggles will actually be synced to, your goggles or your screen, your receiver screen. So on my goggles, I'm going to connect it. And it's very difficult because you will not see what I am seeing on my goggles. But for a fact, I know that there's a setting that allows me on my goggle to change my band and my frequency. So you may not see, let's say I can at least show my screen. You may not see very well what I'm seeing in my goggles right here. But nevertheless, you may not see much because it's basically more like white because of the static. It shows like a TV when there's no cable. So the band, I put on wristband 1 because that's already on wristband 1 to avoid interfering. If that will save me some time, I put it on R1 because this is set to R1 by option. I put it on VTX power 25 watts because I want to have it plugged in for a little while and not use too much power. Using too much power, so if I put it on 3 right here, it will be 3000 watts, and that means my VTX will get hot very quickly because it is currently idled. So I'll leave it at 25 watts. Pit mode, on the other hand, is a setting to put your drone into a very low frequency that you could not see video. Well, generally that has changed because you have pit mode frequency here. Pit mode is basically a switch. You can use a switch on your transmitter to switch to pit mode in the modes menu, and pit mode allows you to switch to a very low frequency of your choice if you actually set it here, or if you do not set it here. Therefore, pit mode will just basically be at a very low frequency that no matter how close you are, you generally will get very little video reception. And if you go probably like 2 meters away, you'll get no video reception. Usually it's like that. It's a very low frequency for you being idle or you switching on pit mode on your transmitter. Low power disarm means when your drone is disarmed, you're at a very low frequency that way you can actually see video close by. So like 25 watts when you're low power disarm, and when you arm your drone, it goes to the power that you actually chose, which is, if I choose 1.5, let's choose 500. 500 will basically be 500 watts. It basically be 500 watts. So here I can click on save, and from this here I need to connect my battery to my drone because without a battery your VTX cannot get enough power. My VTX is 6 volts to 46 volts, so I need a battery. So I'm on wristband 1, and wristband 1 is turned on here, and now my VTX is powered on. Let's see if I can show you what I see. Generally I will be blocking the screen so you can see that there's a different color popping up on my camera right here. That's me generally trying my best to show you that I have video. So when I block the camera, you see that little pink camera here. That's generally my hand blocking the camera. You may not see much out of it, but I'm blocking the camera and so on. That's the best I can actually do. But I'm clearly seeing video through that drone right here. My VTX is on. I'm hearing my VTX it has a fan and antennas are plugged in, and generally that's it. You'll get a quick summary of the values right here, but it's easy as that. I know my power states right here, and in the next video I'm going to just go a quick simple tip as to power states and how you can switch power states with a transmitter. Now we're going to go to OSD and go quick overview of OSD. OSD is actually the writings you see on the screen, and right now I have 0 OSD. I'm seeing just what the camera says but no writing on the screen. It's because I can clearly see on my OSD profile here it's empty, but it only shows low battery on the screen, low voltage, when the low voltage is activated. So what I'm going to do right here, I'm going to click on, let's say, crosshair, and you can see crosshair right here. I can drag and drop it wherever I want to put it. So I put the crosshair in the center. So here you see 1, 2, 3 elements. It means that's profile 1, that's profile 2, and that's profile 3. Those are the profiles, and profile 1, whatever you set on profile 1 will be shown for profile 1 here. So you choose your profile here. If you want profile 3 to have certain settings, you choose the settings here for profile 3 and you map it around right here. So currently, let's say I want to use profile 1. I will only put settings for profile 1 here. Everything here for profile 1, battery voltage, everything. And I can drag and drop it where I want to put it on the screen. I can get a preview using here. So if I want to have a profile 2 preview, you can see profile 2 has this here. When the profile 3 preview, profile 3 have aircraft name, and it also has nothing else besides, yeah, just aircraft name. That's all profile 3 has. On the low voltage warnings below are always enabled on all profiles. So make sure you choose the profile that you want. Make sure you put your settings here for your profile. You actually choose your layout. You can have rulers right there if you want. So you can have your video format. If you're using analog, make sure you have it as auto. So you can choose either PAL or NSC or HD. You have HD for digital, but we have PAL or NTSC. Most likely, I believe that this FPV analog camera is PAL, I believe. So you have your units here. It's Imperial, British, or metric, and you have timers here. And this is self-explanatory. You just play around in it. You have alarms, so you get alarms via this here, and you have warnings that you get on your screen right here. So your warnings on the other hand. You also have post-flight statistics that you will get on your screen right here. So you'll have your receiver screen, or you have your OSD here, and everything that you want enabled is simply just enabled here. Then you press save. So now if I look through that here, I can see I have a battery voltage of 24.1 volts and my crosshair in the center, and here you can see 21.4 because I enabled my profile preview as this one here, just to see it on here. That's the preview, but my profile which is enabled is profile 1. So this is my preview, and this is what I should see on here. From my previews perspective, I should see exactly what's on that here, except the low battery voltage, and generally that's it. Yes, font manager, and we're not going to be doing that. Font manager, you can easily work yourself around that. It's quite simple. The next video is also going to be a little bonus video, how to use your transmitter to switch between VTX powers. It's quite simple. So that's it guys, thanks for watching, and please stay tuned to the other videos, like and subscribe.